Forget the peace greeting this time too, because many of you aren't going to like the message, even though I'm not saying it necessarily with hostility, or let me put it like this, without hatred. I got some anger in this though. I'm gonna say it like it is. Most people would anyway. The double standards are not actually being upheld by every man. As I've said, the real flaw of men has been that we have made it too easy for women while they've made it too difficult for us. That is our real flaw. Let me tell you something else about this flaw. This also applies to the double standards. You see, we men have upheld the double standards historically. But now, many more men, especially the red pill men, are starting to say, no, screw these double standards. It's not okay. It is not okay for these parents to turn their daughters into little thoughts. Same thing for their boys. It's not okay for them to go and, when these boys, especially when they're still minors, to go and get some adult to go and service them, so to speak. So most of us don't condemn what Boosie said he did. Not say what he said he did, but we have to take it as a confession. We don't condemn that. We don't condone that. Most of us, Tommy Curry especially, Brother Tiosan Johnson, BGS Ibmore, O'Shea Duke Jackson. We don't those are Green Gorilla, the G with the PhD. Shout out to these gentlemen. We don't condone that sort of thing. However, I'm going to explain something to some of you ladies that want to make, a fuss about this because T.I. is checking up on his daughter's virginity while Boosie's doing this. How about y'all fuck the shuck up, and here's why. I already know most of you, even those of you that don't promote ratchet culture, most of you do not want virgin men. Many Western women that are virgins don't want virgin men. That's it right there. When you take away men's support of the double standards, great. You're still going to have it with women. Women simply are not against these double standards as much as they say they are. Because if they were truly against these double standards, then what these women would be looking for would be virgin men to lose their virginity to. They're not. They're not and men have to settle when men want to marry. Even just being in relationships, men have to settle for women that have higher body counts than they do. That's funny, isn't it? How these women got high body counts on average than the men, if we're outnumbered by the women at least by a small margin? How's that the case? Well, as we know, the majority of women are sharing the same few men. But that few men that they're sharing are, those few men are going through so many women that it's enough for the women to still have higher body counts than some of the men that will have relationships with them. So by the time most guys get started having actual relationships with women, these women who still demand that the man be older, by the way, have already gone through a hell of a lot more ding-a-lings and vaginas than the man will have gone through vaginas. This is the truth of the matter. And this is why it is that I look at the double standard and I say what I'm about to say to you now. That double standard is bad, isn't it? So why do you continue to uphold it? And I'm going to tell you how I know that the double standard is bad. The way I know the double standard is bad is that and then I know that it's not really the men who have upheld it by themselves. And like I've said, we are divided on this anyway. Red pill guys like me are not in favor of this double standard. So I'm going to say this, especially when it comes to minors, those of minor age. We're definitely not in favor of it at that point. But when we get to be adults, even we may have to support the double standard for one particular reason, and that is that most of you will. See, I mentioned in some live streams before that I ran a little survey of my own before I became Muslim. I asked 12 ladies at my job the following hypothetical scenario. You get a choice between 3 men. They're siblings, same mother, same father, same upbringing, same appearance, same height. They work for the same family business, same income. What's different about them is that one is an ex-womanizer. The other one's a womanizer. The other one's a virgin. Which one do you pick? And I asked 12 of them. 11 said the ex-womanizer. Now, all of them did not pick the womanizer. However, the fact that he's a womanizer means he's already being chosen. So the point is that they now have a choice between uh, one that was chosen and probably still is chosen, and the other one that there's no evidence of him having been chosen, or there's no proof, rather. See, I didn't say he's a virgin because he's ugly. I just said he's a virgin. If he looks like the other two, same income and height and upbringing as the other two, the chances are that he is a virgin because he chose to be, and even that is pathetic to the women. They don't want to be the one to end a man's virginity. They don't like that. Because men's virginity is unattractive to women. And I would appreciate it if you all would simply just be honest about it. This is why T.I. cannot police the penises of his sons the way he has to police the punani of his daughter, or rather stepdaughter. And if she is in fact a stepdaughter, he should be commended for raising her in the first place. If he policed the penises of his boys, it could be for their benefit. But the problem is that, let's say they get older, they get to age 18, they're his sons and they're virgins. These girls are they're going to forget how attractive they think these guys are to look at. They're going to see them as just marks with money. That's it. Girl, I can get even more money out of him. They wouldn't even they would feel disgusted by these guys. Ugh, he a virgin, but he got that money though. These guys will be kicking out tons of dough, spending it trying to impress these women while these women are out there screwing someone else for free. That's what would happen, and you know it. Because many of you would do the same thing in the same situation. So in other words, the double standard should not be upheld by men, and you and I agree on that. But I'm telling you that the men who know the most actually will not uphold it, at least for minors, but you will still uphold it. At the end of the day, really, its major support is going to come from you yourself. Because you do not want a virgin man. And I just wish you all would be honest about it. A man's virginity is disgusting to most women in the West. Call it what it is. I've already said the guilt that we have to share, well, the guilt we need to take, the responsibility is that we made it too easy for you while you made it too difficult for us. We're wrong for that. So that means that we need to make it more difficult for you. Stop approaching. Stop being willing to spend money or unzip the pants for you, for that matter. We need to make all of these things difficult for you. What I'm saying, ladies, is that really and honestly and truly in a nutshell, the greatest supporters of sex robots, if they come out, it will not be the men. The greatest ally that these naturally inanimate, artificial women are going to have is going to be you, natural born women. Because you want to make things more difficult than what they got to be. And because you will sit up here and just come up with barriers that aren't even necessary. You will be the ones to support these, whatever you say verbally, you will be the ones to support these robots. Because of the impossible standards you will insist on having and the most basic standards you will refuse to meet. He can't be a virgin. And you refuse to be one. What did you expect? So if the double standard is so bad, which I agree, then maybe you should stop and ask yourself, why have you collectively been upholding it? I hope that one day this message will not be necessary anymore. In the meantime, I hope it benefits. Black heart, black mind, blackout, and black heterosexual male virgin power just because she don't like it.